Here's Adam, manning up. I'm hiding. I'm naked. God said, this is big deal. When God asked a question, like he doesn't know the answer. He said, who told you you were naked? And then Adam says, at this point, that's what God says. God says, who told you were naked? Did you, Adam, eat of the fruit? How simple is that? Did you, Adam, who I'm talking to, eat of the fruit? Adam mans up. Well, that woman you gave me. I'm trying to be a good husband. You give me a better woman, you know what I'm saying? So he's going to try to blame Eve, going to try to blame God, and God simply raised the question, Adam, did you eat? So the point was, but the fruit, the seed that was in mankind, because what Adam did was sin. When we got saved, there was some roundup that occurred. And then now we got a spiritual root. And because you now got a spiritual root, there ought to be some spiritual fruit coming up. So it is really unnatural for a believer to sin because we already got a spiritual root. Now it is unnatural to have a spiritual root and produce unspiritual fruit. When we were not saved, we had an unspiritual root. Now we got saved, we got a spiritual root. What ought to come up is spiritual fruit. Well, why doesn't it always come up? Because we haven't always renewed our minds. Just because we got saved. Just because we praise God for salvation. Praise God for salvation. The best thing somebody unsaved can do is to get saved. And the best thing somebody saved can do is to renew our mind. Here's our point. We are a what? Spirit. We possess a what? Soul. We live in a what? We are a what? Spirit. We possess a soul. We live in a body. When we got saved, did the body change? No. Not at all. If you went to church with bunnies, you left out of church with bunnies, they did not change at all. Not one thing. You went with a jacked up track, you left with a jacked up track. It did not change. Salvation can't do that, honey. You got to go back and see Sister so-and-so down in the corner. But so that did not change the body. It's still what it is. So when we got saved, so the body didn't get changed, we were left with the spirit and the soul. So when we got saved, what about the spirit? Did that get changed? Yes, because the spirit, God is a spirit. John 4:24 says, God is a spirit, and those that worship him in spirit and in truth. The way God speaks to us is by his spirit. The way he reveals himself to us is by his spirit. The way he communicates with us is spirit to spirit. So if my spirit got renewed and my body's still jacked, what happens is people who now got saved is because their soul has not been renewed. What's the soul again? Meow. It's the what? Mind, emotions, opinion, and will. Again, what is it? Mind, emotions, opinion, and will. So just because our spirit got saved, we now have to go back and renew our minds. You see what I'm saying? So if I had a bad habit before I got saved, until I renew my mind in the Word, I'm going to keep on doing that bad habit. So it's not this, and it's not like at our mother church. There's some people who are here who would recognize the first Sunday of every quarter, there was one lady for 2 years in a row who would always come back, and she would, when we talk about this point, anybody want to accept Jesus? She would always have the same hat on every first Sunday of every quarter. Lord Jesus, I'm coming home. I messed up so badly, I'm just coming home. Well, you know, after about 8 times coming home, like, you ought to just be here by now. So because she kept thinking, because she kept believing that in her mind, she had to keep on going back over and doing something over and over again. Now, at this point, when our mind is renewed, I'm going to start believing what the Word says. And when I start believing what the Word says, I'm just going to bring the body along. So believers can still sin, but it is unnatural for a believer to sin when we already have a spiritual root. So here's the point. So let the righteous of the Lord say so and live like they're made righteous. So let me go back in. I want to give you one other thing here. Not only are we restored at this point, look at this. The righteous God sees nextly. God sees us also as being redeemed. I want you, that's what I want to get to. God sees us as being redeemed. God sees believers as being redeemed. Now look what happens here, redeemed, redeemed. I love this verse. Read Isaiah 43:1 with me, please. Do not fear, for I have redeemed you. I have called you by name. That's just beautiful. And so Psalm 107:2. Let's read this, please. Let me get to the, now I love to read the whole thing. Let the redeemed of the Lord say so, whom he has redeemed from the hand of the enemy. So redemption is about rescuing. Redemption is about saving. So the redeemed, those who are saved of the Lord ought to say so, because he saved us from the hand of the enemy. So let the redeemed of the Lord say so and live like we've been redeemed. So how does God see believers? How does God see that? Look, read this with me, please. See yourself the way God sees you and experience all he has for you. Can you just go give God just a hand clap of praise for that? I said, see yourself the way God sees you. And then you can experience everything he has for you. When you see yourself the way that God sees you, everything changes. I'm not going to see myself as a faith because I walk in faith. I'm not going to see myself with all my flaws. I'm not going to see myself with my little skinny arms. I'm going to see myself as God sees me and not as the world sees me. When God looks at us, all he sees now is Jesus. So we cannot live this supernatural life apart from the Redeemer. So let's talk about this. Now, since we are redeemed, I want to give us 3 points here about since we are we good now? We're redeemed. God sees us redeemed. Yes. And redeemed means being rescued from sin. So since we are redeemed, I want to give us at least 3 things here that should happen. What should be seen in the life of people redeemed? What should be seen in the life of people redeemed? First of all, read this with me, please. Don't dwell on past mistakes. Because you've been redeemed. Now be clear, there are always consequences to sin. Amen. We are free to choose the choose, but we're not free to choose the consequences of our choice. Right? So don't talk about this now because I'm under grace at this point that I can do what I want to do. No, there will always be consequences to sin. However, we can't keep on dwelling on past. How many of us in here ever made a mistake? All right, 3 people didn't raise their hands. They made a mistake right there. So don't dwell on past mistakes. Look, read this with me, please. Don't dwell on mistakes because it will only cause more. If I keep on dwelling on them, after a while, that becomes my reality. And whatever you focus on, you give power to. Whatever you focus on, you strengthen. So if all you're going to focus on is mistakes, you're going to make more mistakes. So husbands, as we focus on loving our wives more, we're going to love them more. Now, since y'all say amen now. So as a husband, you focus on doing the dishes, and see, it doesn't matter. If in fact, I'm telling you, I learned a long time ago. So first of all, I knew at this point, so this I'm just telling you from my house. If my wife is going to get her hair did, not done, did every Friday, and sweat over a stove to knock out all her curls, the little dippity do is gone, the least I can do is wash dishes. Come on, sister, come on now. I'm trying to help you out now. Don't leave nothing by myself. The least I can do is some dishes. You know what I'm saying? She's been over here just sweating, she's over here, she's just working hard. And sometimes she's like Alicia Keys. And then with that bandana on her head, it's working, it's working. That's a lot hard. It's in there working. The least I can do. Least I can do. Okay. All right. So the point is, so don't dwell on past mistakes because what you think about, you give power to. So if I think about being a better Christian, I'm going to be a better Christian. If I think about being a better husband, I'll be a better husband. If I think about being a better believer, I'll be a better believer. But if all I do is go back like some folks do with their prayers at night and recount everything you did wrong, you'll go to bed in prayers every night. Lord, forgive me. I almost did that old lady right there. If I tell you, your mind is not right. Don't dwell on it because we've been redeemed. Don't dwell on past mistakes. But I love this right here. No looking back. No looking back. No looking back. Paul says right here in Philippians 3, that this one thing I do, I got to forget what's behind me. See, we keep living like what's behind us is better than what's in front of us. I want you to know as a child of the Lord, as a child of the living God, the best is yet to come. You haven't begun to see what the best is. It may have been good back there, but it's better now. And we keep on going back and looking back instead of getting ready to go forward. The Hebrew children got out of captivity. Were out of captivity 3 days and start complaining. I wish we'd been back in Egypt. At least over there had some food to eat. They about to go to the promised land and want to go back into slavery. I love this one right here. Read this. This is my favorite one about past mistakes. Read this, please. The longer you live in the past, the less future you have to enjoy. If I keep on living in the past, I'm reducing the amount of time I can enjoy the future. So I'm just thankful. I'm gonna live my best life now. Praise God for yesterday. I'm gonna live my best life now. And tomorrow I'm gonna live my best life then. I'm not gonna keep on living back in the day. Can't change it anyway. I'm gonna live my best life now and prepare to enjoy this extraordinary future that God has for every believer. Anybody know that God has an extraordinary future for you? I said, anybody know that God has an extraordinary future? So don't dwell on the past. So since we've been redeemed, don't dwell on past mistakes. Next one. Since we've been redeemed, don't dwell on past misperceptions. Just because we thought something was right doesn't make it right. You know that, right? Just because mama and them told you that growing up, who can them told you that, it don't always make it right. So look right here. So misperceptions is sort of like a mistake, or basically at this point an illusion, misunderstanding. Now watch this right here. Watch this. Look right here. Look at this. One person sees what number? 6. The other person sees 9. Read with me at the Bible says, just because you are right doesn't mean I'm wrong. You just haven't seen life from my side. So the one that saw the 9 was right, and the one that saw the 6 was right, but I got to get on the other side and see what they see, and then see that they're right. Well, we decided that they just got to be wrong. I told you just now. It can't even take even in the room for that to be 6. Let me make this clear. I know all you all do is listen to religious songs, the old wicked cross, but there's a game out most of y'all have never heard of called Uno. And in this game called Uno, the objective is to get rid of all your cards and get down to one card to say Uno to try to win. So we play. So when the girls come over, I'm sitting here. The oldest one is here. The youngest one is here. My wife's over here. And sometimes when we're playing Uno, the girls start. First of all, it's already 3 women against 1, and it gets to male companionship. I got to go outside with my 2 dogs. So we're in the house, and here the girls. Let's get daddy. Let's get daddy. So they keep on draw 4, bam, I got me. Draw 2, bam, they got me. And so all of a sudden they all focus on me. They look back over there, and then over here on the other end, down to 2 cards. So one day they went back and ganged up on my wife. She had half the deck trying to hold it up in their face. But what happened is I worked through. So I went through, and I was like, they put the right color down, right on there. Oh, bam, Uno out. The youngest one. Daddy, that's a 9. You put down a 6. So I got the card, I turned up, I said, what number is it now? So the idea was, so the whole point is, you got to find out. Just because I'm right doesn't mean you're wrong. I just haven't seen life from your perspective. And now, wouldn't it be this wonderful if I spent more time trying to understand you rather than trying to pull you down? Wouldn't it be wonderful if I tried to understand what's important to you instead of trying to discard what you did? One of the greatest lessons the Lord taught me when I got married was, when we got married, my wife loves HGTV. I wish we had stock in the company with as much HGTV as we watched. And the first show I saw had a guy on there with a pink shirt on talking about enter to my space. So I started watching it during that time. So she kept, but then Pocket Brothers came on. It's all right. So what happened so bad? I said, what is it? Why are you so enthralled with this show? What? She said, I'm trying. Now what's what happened? This messed me up. Because I just thought she was in there just watching. She said, I'm trying to get ideas for designs to make our house better. What? You watching the show to beautify this? So we sit down there together and we watch it. Which house you think they go? I like those concerts. So I guess what the point is, I got to make sure, what if we just start looking at life from somebody else's perspective?